Hello, everybody. I'd like to welcome you all to the Hearth channel. This is the very first episode in a three-part series, which will be dedicated to the most discussed topic of the day, which is the coronavirus. And so, with that being said, I'd like to get underway. Um, this channel, hopefully, will be a potent source of insight and information that the viewers can take with them and use to orient their lives in a more directed and purposeful fashion. So I hope that um, this this channel can be a source for that inspiration. So with that being said, obviously this um, this issue, the coronavirus, it's ramped up uh, according to all the latest the metrics that have been making it out into the public awareness. As of today, it's March 29th, and I believe there are over 100,000 incidences. Um, and so, obviously within the last couple months, as traveling, was still permitted, and people were really unaware of um, the dangers involved. I believe that's where the virus took its toll. So we're seeing that statistical flux at the moment. Right now, as we're just um, watching the disease and its effects. But for me personally, as I sit and look at the traditional sources of information, the traditional media entities and the information they provide, it's not really optimistic, and I'm wondering to myself, what is this? Is this, you know, a devastate obviously the effects so far have been, relatively devastating, but you know what does this mean for me? What does this mean for the world? And that's what I want to tackle and bring some clarity to. And so I'd like to start by providing a historical basis for the viewers at home, um, abroad, overseas, wherever you are, which can, help orient your perspective around this and hopefully, encourage you to live your lives, with a sense of, emboldened courage and, not to give in to the elements of panic or fear that might be prevalent around you. And so, I was reading something recently, and I came across um, a certain event. And for those of you who may be aware, history uh, can often provide us with countless examples that we can use, in the present day to give us a sense of hope, or to help us, at least feel that we're not, the only ones going through, something, at the moment. And so, incidentally, So I was reading, I came across something that was rather interesting. And the event in question was the plague of Athens. And it was made reference to by an Athenian general named Thucydides. And he wrote a work detailing the conflict between two regional superpowers in the Mediterranean, which were Athens and Sparta at the time, and they were vying for um, control of that region. And so, while undergoing this conflict, he was on the Athenian side, and out of nowhere, an outbreak of some illness happened almost instantaneously, and it spread rather rapidly, and so that was one of the first key pieces that you know was able to evoke the similarities between this scenario that we're currently experiencing and one from the past. And I found that rather helpful because most of the information that is probably available to you is probably geared toward framing this as, and as some event without precedent. Obviously, in one sense, it is because we don't have a cure for it at the moment, but in another sense, um, it shares a commonality with other outbreaks, which humanity was unprepared for at the time. And so I found that helpful, and I thought that was something that I would share with you. So if we take a look at this, and we can see some of the advantages that we have, that we are able to, we're better placed in this day and age. And these are things that are, a cause for relief. Um, so the Athenians, they suffered heavy losses due to this outbreak. Um, for one, there wasn't really an understanding of, um, a sophisticated understanding of medical pathology at the time. And so, issues of hygiene, cleanliness, and, how to disease containment, let alone eradication, were not something that they were equipped to really deal with. And so, at least thinking from that vantage point, they were able to survive that, and they were way less, prepared and equipped than we are in this day and age for this scenario. And so, thinking through that, and and also at the same time, they were engaged in a war with the other major regional power at the time, which was Sparta. So could you imagine, being engaged in a dire conflict with your long-lived enemy, and then out of nowhere you have this sort of apocalyptic um, illness just arrive out of nowhere. Um, that's a recipe for disaster on its own, and yet they were able to come through that. Um, you know, unfortunately for them, they that did lead to their defeat in the war, but nonetheless, um, they were able to survive that outbreak. And so I think that's cause for hope, especially for those viewers who may feel that this is something that spells the end of the world. Um, I think we should put that viewpoint away, because we are better prepared, to ward off the transmission and the incidence rates of this disease, at least by tracking and isolating its spread. And so that's something that you should keep in mind. And I would urge those viewers to look into that, hopefully to provide some more clarity and insight. At least you'll have a cultural touchstone to make reference to for something that of this magnitude. And so, once again, I'd like to remind you that the event is called the Plague of Athens, and it was made reference to by Thucydides. And so, his name might be a little tricky, but that's Thucydides. Anyway, stay safe out there. Practice proper hygiene, and use your common sense in regards to traveling to non-essential locales, and of course, I'd like to also invite you to like and subscribe if you found any of this information helpful, or if you just enjoyed the message that you received. So make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I hope to see you again. So with that, good luck, God bless, and until next time.